So every time I get a nice vehicle, this worthless cat who doesn't live here gets on the hood of my vehicles, gets cat hairs, paw prints all over the hood and glass. You're not going to do that this week because this Raptor is way too tall for you. You won't be getting up on top of that unless you bring your ladder. So you're out of luck this week, partner. Say goodbye, YouTube. Say goodbye. We're at our secret garage, and I think you already know what we're going to be driving in this video. The new and improved 2017 Ford F-150 Raptor. To call this a wide body would be an understatement. And to call this a beautiful truck would also be an understatement. This is a very sharp looking machine, especially with the optional graphics I have. Here's our side view. More cruel graphics, so everybody knows what you're driving. Here's a peek at the rear, with more cool graphics on the tailgate, so you know it's a Ford. And they shipped it all the way from Michigan, just for us. If you're not familiar with the Raptor, we'll help you out as we go along. If you are familiar with the Raptor, there are a lot of improvements for 2017 you need to know about. The first Raptors around 2010 came with a 5.4-liter V8 engine, which was slightly underpowered. Then eventually Ford upgraded that with a 6.2-liter V8, putting out 411 horsepower and 434 foot-pounds of torque, with fuel economy rated at 12 to 16 miles per gallon. For 2017, the only engine offered is a 3.5-liter V6, a souped-up version of their EcoBoost, putting out 450 horsepower, and the torque rating has jumped up to 510 foot-pounds. Fuel economy's increased to 15 to 18 mpg as well. A lot of buyers are not happy about the V8 going away, but hey, if you got an engine that's quicker, more torque, and better fuel economy, why not, right? The second improvement for 2017 is a new transmission, a 10-speed automatic. That's right, 10 gears. Do we really need 10 gears? Well, we can talk about that later. But this is the standard and only offering. There is a manual shift mode where you can shift the lever by yourself, or paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which are a lot more convenient to use. Another big change for the Raptor this year, the body, like most F-150s, has gone to aluminum construction over steel, saving a claimed 500 pounds in weight. Because of the thinner aluminum, you will definitely want to spend the extra $500 for a bed liner for protection purposes, but if you're buying a truck, you should have this anyway, right? So overall, if you take the extra horsepower and torque of this new engine, the extra gears on the 10-speed automatic, and the lighter weight, we're talking some very good 0 to 60 mile per hour times in spite of the 3-ton weight. But we'll be dealing with that a little bit later in the video. If you watch my videos, you know one of the first things we do when you get a vehicle is take the headlights out and evaluate the performance. Gosh, these are dinky headlights for such a big truck. I think we should take these out and test them right now. Okay, it's dark enough. Let's give it a shot. Here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away. Not the brightest I've seen, but more than adequate. Go to high beams. A very nice spread. Here we have the high beams on the building 300 feet away. These are not the brightest lights I've ever used, but a very nice spread, so really no complaints. Go down to low beam. A nice wide spread, does reach out. So no complaints, really. I suspect one of the reasons Ford didn't make these lights any brighter is because this truck sits so high off the ground. If we had a lot more flame coming out of the lens, we'd be blinding everybody in the neighborhood. So, but these will do. Wow, that was a rough bump, but I didn't feel anything. The shocks are still doing great. So for part 2 of this video, let's look at the off-road capability, of which there is plenty. Starting with these giant 34-inch tires mounted on 17-inch steel wheels. If I remember my specs right, this vehicle is 7 feet wide. Ground clearance runs 10 to 12 inches. For 2017, we get wider shocks, and I'm told these Fox shock assemblies actually cost more than the engine, but I don't know if that's true, but it makes a good story. When I got on the Ford spec sheet, it says the shock system has up to 13 to 14 inches of travel. I'm not a hardcore off-roader, but I'm told by those who are that that's a pretty good figure to have. We'll see as we take this off-road later on in the video. As a rule, I don't care for running boards on cars. I think they're kind of sissy, but these are pretty good, and they don't intrude and don't interfere with four-wheel driving, so I'm not complaining. On the dash, we have a knob that controls two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive automatic for the street, four-wheel drive high for off-road, and four-wheel drive low for off-road. Then on the steering wheel, we have the mode switch. So on the dash, you can see we have normal for the street, sport mode for the street, rough weather, which puts it in the four-wheel drive automatic mode automatically, the mud and sand mode, the Baja mode, and rock crawl, which puts it in four-wheel drive low. The only disadvantage with this system is a lot of people don't know it's there unless they read the owner's manual. That's because most SUVs that have a sport mode, crawl mode, mud mode, have a large dial on the dash like this, like you see on Land Rovers and some Ford SUVs. But not here. So I suspect there are a lot of Raptor drivers who are driving and don't know that they have this option because they didn't read the manual, but if you watch this video, you know now, right? Two quick notes about the interior. Number one, this glove box is ridiculously small. I can't believe such a tiny glove box is put in such a large vehicle, but that's just the way it is. On the positive side, these climate controls are very easy to use and the air conditioning is very effective. In fact, as you can see by the screen, it's already 112 degrees this morning, but I'm very cool in here, especially with these very nice air-conditioned seats. No complaints here. If you're wondering how much the Raptor costs, well, the base price of $48,000 is certainly reasonable, but as you can see, from the $14,900 in options, the price can climb rather quick. Like so. We do have useful options. The spray and bed liner at $495. I wouldn't get a truck without that. Here are some other options that you may or may not want. I guess I would get the exterior graphics package. I don't know about the other stuff. And here's the real killer, the equipment group 802A. Look at all the stuff you get. Then go back up. $9,345. I think I could pass on that. Bottom line, by eliminating a lot of the fluff, you could get the price down to around 52 grand, and that would certainly be a great deal. If you watch my videos, you know I test all my vehicles on the speed bump course, around 20 to 25 miles per hour. On this Raptor, it was very unusual because at 20 miles per hour, I felt the bump. 30 miles per hour, I really didn't feel too much, and at 40, I didn't feel anything. The faster this goes, the harder the impact, the smoother it is. So we'll demonstrate that real quick. So here we go, and this first speed bump's a real nasty one. We're doing 40. Didn't feel a thing. Next one, next speed bump. Next one, felt nothing. Oh, here comes a nasty one. Uh-oh. Only felt those two because I slowed down to 30 miles per hour. We're going to have a lot of fun with this off-road. I can see that right now. A lot of the car and truck publications have been advertising a 0 to 60 time on this rig at 5.1 seconds. Not very likely. Some others have been advertising a 0 to 60 time of 5.7 seconds, which is a bit more realistic. As for me, my best time is 5.5 seconds. I think that's the best we're going to see. If this isn't a hot rod or a drag racer, it's a truck. It's got more than adequate acceleration for 6,000 pounds. And a very nice set of brakes, too. Just for the record, this is the worst fuel economy I've had thus far. Heavy city driving, 12.8. And 15.8 in mixed city highway commuting. We'll be doing more fuel economy tests down the road. We just did a 31-mile trip, average around 75 miles per hour, doing 15.5 mpg. The best we've seen so far is 16.3, but I didn't record it on the camera. Oh, 15.4, pardon me. By the way, speaking of fuel economy, this truck has an automatic start-stop system that turns the engine off at stoplights in a meager attempt to save fuel, which is ridiculous on a gas guzzler like this. So as you can see, I switched it off. It really serves no purpose. Don't need it. Also, unless you're towing a heavy load or driving in extreme hot weather, this engine runs fine on standard, regular, unleaded. No need to use premium in daily commuting. That should save you some money. And save you a lot more money than a ridiculous auto start-stop system. That's for sure. This Raptor wasn't intended for long highway trips, but if you plan on doing so, not a problem. This is a very smooth and quiet vehicle. Very, very comfortable. I'm definitely impressed. If we could do better on the fuel economy of 16 miles per gallon, I'd be even more impressed, but on a 3-ton truck, I don't think that's going to happen. Not with this high ground clearance anyway. We're pushing way too much air here. I think 16 mpg is about the best we're going to see on this trip. Or should I say 16.5? When you're taking curved roads like this, the manual mode and the paddle shifters on the steering wheel certainly come in handy, but with 10 speeds, you have to do a lot of shifting up and down. Hope you got strong fingers. By the way, the cornering ability of this truck is a lot better than I expected. But the stiff suspension and wide tires certainly help, even if the tread isn't designed for pavement. For the rest of this video, we're going to be doing some off-roading. And no, we're not going to be doing any hardcore Baja 500 stuff. I'm a long ways from home, and I don't like hiking home. I like driving home. So we're not going to break the truck. So let's get on with it. Oh goody! I just stumbled on a wasp's nest. It's a good thing I get along with insects. I think I'd have a problem right now. Well, these killer bee wannabes might like me, but they don't like the truck. They're swarming all over the place, so time to get out of here. This suspension setup does an excellent job of absorbing impacts, but only if you're going fast. The slower you go, the rougher it gets. The faster you go, the smoother it gets. It's really that simple. Right now I'm taking it slow and bouncing around quite a bit. So we'll have to speed it up a bit. That's better. Civilization already. Well, you know it's a high-tech city when they have a bar, but they serve Coors Light. Yuck. If you're going to climb bouncy roads like this, the secret is put the transmission in manual mode, use the paddle shifters to lock it in the gear you need, in this case third gear, then hit the throttle and go. This is where the paddle shifters come in very, very handy. It's a scorching record 120 degrees outside today. No kidding. So we're going to climb some elevation here and go to the cool pines. This weird deadly creature has been riding on my antenna for the past 50 miles. It's like you don't pay the fare, you got to get off. So here we are in the forest, approximately 6,500 feet high. A lot cooler up here, but, well, not much. Because if we look at the temperature, we dropped from 120 degrees to 94 degrees. Like I said, it's hot out. Let me show you this cabin I just bought. No, not that one. This one. It's got 2 doors for my private entrance. And the dining room has built-in seating accommodations. Now that's class. Well, time to move along. We're going to be doing some off-roading in this. First we got to check out the homestead. Get rid of the killer bees. You go in first.
Alright.
And I'll watch. I heard some buzzing in the attic. Former tenants who didn't make it. We've done 100 miles off-road and this thing sure does get dirty, doesn't it? There are some people on the web saying this vehicle is too big to fit in an automatic car wash, so I don't know, let's see. But you might want to fold the mirrors though. Well, we made it. A 5-foot wide trail for a 7-foot wide truck. A long vicious climb and 4-wheel drive low for this trail. Here's my take on the Ford Raptor. It's definitely one of the best trucks I've ever driven. Certainly the best truck in the Ford inventory. Yeah, the price at just over 60 grand was a bit high, but remember, if you deduct that luxury package, you get the cost down to just over $50,000, and at that price, it's definitely a bargain. No doubt about that. And I've noticed on the web there are some YouTube commenters claiming that this is nothing but a pimped out Ford F-150, or that you could get an F-150 and do the work yourself and come out with a better deal, and these people just don't know what they're talking about. For 50 grand, there's no way you could duplicate this, not even close. So why not get a factory vehicle and get it done right? That's the way I look at it. This is one Ford truck I definitely did not want to give back. And if you spend a week with it, you wouldn't want to give it back either. Pretty simple. Now that you've seen the video from my favorite truck of the year, you can watch the video of my favorite car of the year, the Dodge Hellcat. Just click on the link.